You are broke. And it seems like you are willing to change that. Here are the steps to do so. Step 1. Accept your situation. You have already taken the most important and most difficult step. You have understood and accepted your situation. Very good. The important thing here is to avoid feelings of guilt. It is what it is. But you are in the process of changing it. Start by make a list of your disposable income, your monthly costs, your assets, and your debts. To change the current situation, you need to understand what the current situation actually is. Can't pet a duck if you don't know what a duck is. Right? Step 2. Make a plan. Now that you know your situation, you need a plan. Your biggest enemy is the interest that accumulates on your debts. Take care of that first by applying the debt avalanche method. With the debt avalanche method, you focus on the debts with the highest interest rates and work your way to the lowest ones. You also set yourself a limit for your monthly expenditure so that no new debts arise. It's a good idea to start a budget diary. This way, you always know exactly how much you spend on each item and keep an overview of your income and expenses. I'll show you exactly how to do this in another video. For now, a rough overview is enough. Step 3. Reduce costs. To have more money left over at the end of the month, there are two main things you can do. One of them is to reduce your spending. Lower spending gives you the opportunity to pay off your debts faster. For example, can you switch to public transportation for a while, and is it really necessary to spend more money on V-Bucks than I do on fashion? Man, I hate shopping. Your net worth will increase by reducing your debt, and you'll already feel better as you see a ray of hope at the end of the tunnel for the first time. Step 4. Increase your income. At a certain point, it makes little sense to continue making cutbacks, and many cutbacks will not have a significant impact on the overall situation. Buying soap for $1 instead of $1.50 won't necessarily affect your future. Instead, the goal now is to increase your income. There are basically two ways to do this: either you increase your existing income or you generate another one. For most people, the income they already have is a job. To earn more here, you can either increase your hours on the job or your hourly wage. Or, in the best case, both. Learn something new that gives you an advantage in your job, apply it and ask for a pay rise over time. Also take that weekend shift you've been turning down because of the new Netflix series. The alternative is a side hustle. There are so many ways to start these that I can't list them all in this video. But there will be another video on this topic in the future. Some examples include selling items online, craft jobs in your neighborhood, or having a successful social media presence. Now your debt should be paid off and it's time to take the next step. Step 5. Emergency fund. An emergency fund is money that you save for emergencies and only use when you really need it. It gives you security in uncertain times, greatly reduces your inner stress level, and prevents you from building up new debts. This should be at least as high as 3 of your salaries. The amount varies depending on how much security you want and need for your well-being. You keep the money in a savings account. This way, you'll earn some interest on your money until you actually need it, and this way you won't even think about spending it. It will also give you a good feeling to know that you always have a certain amount available that you can draw on whenever you need it. Step 6. Invest. We already touched on this in the last step. Your money has to multiply. For this to happen, you need to start investing. And that's not complicated at all. One of the most common ways is to invest in exchange-traded funds, ETFs. ETFs are a collection of shares that are then bundled together and represent, for example, a market sector, a region, or global companies. If you invest a monthly amount, you automatically participate in the success of the companies and receive interest on your capital. You reduce your risk by diversifying your capital across the large number of companies or shares in your ETF. This is because individual companies can get into difficulties or go bankrupt. However, these losses are then usually offset by the profits of the other companies. How much you invest depends on your financial resources. But perhaps you should start by simply using the amount you previously used to reduce your debts. You didn't have this available for consumer goods before, so you won't miss it. Step 7. Remain persistent. If you stick to these steps, you will build wealth fairly quickly and leave financial difficulties behind you. The important thing is to keep going. There will always be months when you find it harder to stick to the steps. But it's these periods that test your willpower. And in the end, a great reward awaits you, because over time you will see your money increase and it will give you pleasure to see it grow. If now by the end of the video you're wondering how you can not only stop being broke, but become rich, you should definitely watch my other video. Here I explain how most millionaires manage to accumulate huge amounts of wealth and how you can do the same. For more of these videos, feel free to subscribe to the channel. See you next time.